You have found yourself on another episode of Locked On Bulls. In today's episode, me and Pat are going to discuss the options ahead of the Bulls with the veteran minimum and last roster spot they have left open. We're also going to talk about the Bulls' offseason wins and losses. And lastly, Bleacher Report has the Bulls listed as one of the teams in the NBA that will regret their offseason. Me and Pat are going to discuss that all and more right after this.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. That's Pat the Designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. But let's get into it, Pat. So the Bulls have one spot left open on the roster unless they decide to waive Carlik Jones, which they can do up until, I think, October 16th. And they could create two open roster spots, but we know they at least have one. Considering the Bulls are less than $2 million below the luxury tax, all signs are pointing to vet minimum being the acquisition there, despite the Bulls still having $6 million of a mid-level exception, $4.5 million biannual exception, and a $10.2 million disabled player. They got exceptions out the wazoo. They're probably not going to use any of it, though. What do you think they're going to do with the last vet minimum spot?
Christian Wood. God. No, I'm just playing. That's what all the discords and all of the that's all I see every time I log in to any Bulls Discord. I'm on Twitter.
With Christian Wood, we'd be a title contender, Pat.
I need Christian Wood.
You need Wood?
It's so
that's all I heard. That's wild.
It's so weird. Yeah. It's so weird how much people are so excited by a guy that I need y'all to understand. I did Locked On NBA and Locked On Bulls last year. Y'all was trashing this man. We watched it. We saw them comments. You can't just switch like that. But anyway, here's the tough part. We technically need to have the 15 so that we can have the 3 two-way deals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm wondering if the game plan is to sign somebody to a vet min who is, I guess technically you could throw Christian Wood's name out there, right? Because that's basically what the amount of money the Lakers have to offer him as well. There's not much that they can do to go out there and get him. Maybe their game plan is because we haven't heard that they've rescinded Terry Taylor's offer, right?
Officially, no, not yet, but they're gonna basically.
So maybe their game plan is to convert one of them to a regular contract after preseason. Keep a guy like Terry Taylor. Keep, Adama Sanago on the books. We know they want Justin Lewis. We got too many J's on this team, man. What's going on with that? There's a lot of J's on this team. The live calls are gonna be tough. Is all I'm saying. Maybe I don't know what the plan is with this, because at this point we're getting is there a veteran out there that you feel like is going to give real contribution to this team? And get real minutes at that.
Well, the thing is, you're adding the 15th man on your roster. Let's be clear here. They're not getting a bunch of minutes. They're going to be used kind of like what we saw DJJ used in. Like, they may get some spot minutes, but you want somebody who's ready to go. I do think that there are some veterans that could help. Let me go top level first. I do think that there is a realistic possibility that Kelly Oubre Jr. is going to have to settle for the vet minimum. If the Bulls bring him in at the vet minimum, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I wouldn't be. At the vet minimum, into your bench, not mad at that at all.
See, my only issue with Kelly Oubre, I'm thinking Kelly Olynyk. Never mind. Kelly Oubre, okay.
He's light. He's not that light, brother.
He got the same problem Kelly Olynyk got. They both ain't never seen a shot they didn't like, and they don't shoot that well. I can make this. No, you can't. You 31%.
Kelly Oubre Jr. definitely isn't going to get the 17 shots per game he got at Charlotte. But nonetheless, like I said, at the end of the bench, but that's not realistic. We're not expecting that. I'm looking at realistic possibilities. You're looking at, first up, DJJ or Javante. One of them is probably likely to be to be a candidate there. I do think Jermichael Green could be another one there as well. And those are players that I wouldn't mind coming in as the 15th man.
I wouldn't mind that, especially the guys that have already been here. Listen, we're running it back. We might as well run it back with some of the guys that were useful here. Like literally, we're running it back, but we got rid of all the guys that came in and made an impact. So I wouldn't be mad at DJJ. I wouldn't be mad at Javonte. I think that in both cases, though, right? Are they Javonte? Maybe not. I think Javonte's injury may be a little bit more than we thought it was originally.
100% agreed on that one.
But as far as DJJ, I really feel like DJJ is just waiting on Miami. Like I thought that when he opted out, because it was like he's back. Oh, never mind. No, he's not. As soon as the Dame news about him actually getting moved came out, I was just like, oh, he's going back to Miami. Like he's gonna get that second shot down there. He already knows Spo, already knows how to work with that team. Yeah, I mean, like I think that if he's gonna take a vet min anywhere else, he's gonna try to take a vet min on a team that he can go win a championship on.
Yeah, I mean, that is a possibility, and that could be something that he is waiting on. And I think, you know, when you look at DJJ, especially being somebody who is always ready, stays ready, right? Always finds a way to impact the game. That could be huge on the team that's hoping to make a championship run. So I wouldn't doubt that at all. I agree with you also that Javonte's injury may be what's scaring off people from him. And what better way to come back, stay in Chicago for another year, rehab? You're probably not going to play much, right? And that's the thing. Like even the Rudy Gay part of it, I don't care because whoever the Bulls sign with this vet minimum. I see people freaking out so much. How dare we sign Rudy Gay? He's washed up. They're not playing, bruh. They're not gonna play.
You know what? Here's my thing though. My vet men guy. This is all I want to come back to the NBA. Remember when the vet men guys were the mentors? Remember when the vet men guys were the guys that like, hey, bro, we just need you to keep the team in line. We need you to keep the team right. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's that guy? First off, it's not Rudy Gay. You know what I mean? Like, that guy's not Rudy Gay. Like, I don't think that anyone in their career has ever said, man, you know who really kept that locker room in order? Rudy Gay. I've never heard that in my life. So I'm not when I saw the Rudy Gay news, I was like, if you're going to sign a vet men guy, at least see if you can go out there and find somebody who is going to help be like a little bit of a leader and kind of push the message that Billy's putting out there in the locker room. But the problem is, think about the vet men guys we're talking about. Kelly Oubre is 27, 28.
Yeah, really young guy.
Christian Wood is the same. Your vet men guys have been in the league for a minute, but it's like they're not the older OGs that are like teaching the next generation how to play basketball. So there's not much to choose from. So I get the like ill when it comes to Rudy Gay, but I also get the ill when it comes to Christian Wood and Kelly Oubre. Like I don't want to see them on the court either.
No, some Bulls fans really want to see them on the court.
Muds are really excited about Christian Wood. Like there's I mean,
like, and you know what's funny to me too with Bulls fans? This gets right back into what we've been talking about. How Bulls fans contradict themselves. Bulls fans will say all day, "We're not going nowhere with Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's never won anything. Zach LaVine and Christian Wood. You think Christian Wood's what's going to send us over the top, my guy? Bro, come on, man. What we talking about here, bro? What we talking about, man?
They just want to see how Biddum and Wood works in a live call together. That's all. I assume. I mean, like, I don't know, dog. I don't know. It's interesting. The part that I think about a lot of the vet men guys that are left that you could go out there and get is you can see how certain guys can make an impact. But the weirdest part about this Bulls team, and I think which is the biggest issue, is I don't see how they fit here. Like Christian Wood, I guess offensively, I can see how
you're thinking too much. It don't matter. They're the 15th guy. It doesn't matter how they fit, bro. It doesn't matter, bro. It just like I get what you're getting at, and you're right for thinking that.
Well,
but like,
if you sign Christian Wood to a vet minute and he's playing,
bro, no, it's not happening, bro. I'm telling you right now. He's not happening, bro. Dalen's probably not playing. We don't even know. We just gave Ayo Dosunmu $7 million a year. We don't even know if he's playing this year. Christian, no matter who they sign, unless Jesus Devontae Christ becomes an NBA free agent, whoever you get at the vet minimum ain't playing, bro. It's not happening.
You telling me PJ? You telling me Jesus Christ is only getting a vet men?
They ain't even giving the disabled player exception to Jesus Christ, bro.
Did PJ Washington resign yet?
No.
Is
But
a
he can't be
vet
signed
man?
for vet minimum.
No, he can't. He can't be. He
Yeah.
can't be.
So
let me see.
tough,
Let me
bro.
throw some other. Let me throw some other names at you. See if any of these aren't gross. Terrence Ross. Oh no, he's gone. He's gone now. He's in Phoenix, right?
I don't know, bro.
I
don't care. It's Terrence Ross. Like I don't even know if he's still a Jermichael Green. I brought him up. I honestly wouldn't mind Jermichael Green, bro.
Jermichael Green, I wouldn't mind. I think he actually could be a veteran off your bench. Bismack Biyombo.
Come on. You know what? Maybe he can mentor Adama Sinago in practice, bro.
Why? Because they both African, bro.
Yes.
Did you really just do that? We're going to the next topic. Reed, do your ad read, dog. You're not gonna hit me with the. Maybe he can mentor Adama Sinago because they're both African. Wow. Wow. Hey, comments. Y'all do what y'all do on that one, bro.
That's hilarious. Next up.
Hey, what if that's the one that actually gets us fired? No cap. Like out of everything we've said. The African talking about. Hey, one more. Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn is past the Lonzo Ball injury. Like he had it, came back, was meh.
Well, he didn't have the cartilage replacement, but
he had the first part. Like they both had the bone bruise.
Yeah, the bone bruise. You know what? Honestly, there's upside in Kendrick Nunn, but again, we are so guard heavy. Do we need another guard? But listen, if the Bulls were to say, hey, some of these guards may be gone by the end of the season, let's bring in Kendrick Nunn. We can have him in practice all year and see what he actually got. I don't know. Like, again, I don't care. They're not playing. I don't care. Don't care.
Just bring Goran Dragic back. At least he was fun.
Exactly. Well, yeah, at least he was fun. But all right, next up, we're going to be talking about the biggest wins and losses from the Bulls off season. But before we get into that, we got to talk to you guys about one of our sponsors, and that is FanDuel. Take your first swing at betting MLB on FanDuel and get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets up to $200. That's right. Bet $20 and you'll land $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. That's $200 you can spend betting on everything from the money line to the over-under to who you think is going to hit the first home run. All in one app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. There's no better place to bet on MLB than FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. So sign up today and visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get up to $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball. All right. I don't even know how we got there in the first segment, but it is what it is. We are now moving right along. So it's been I would say most people won't disagree that AK made smart moves this offseason. I think when you look at the contracts, he re-signed Kobe and Vooch to very smart deals, very team-friendly deals, going out and getting 2 players for half your mid-level exception in Javon Carter and getting Torrey Craig at the vet minimum for 2 years. The Ayo Dosunmu one, there's people that are up and down on it, and I can understand that. But I think overall, AK has had a pretty smart offseason. But, Pat, I'm going to throw this to you. What was the biggest win for the Bulls this offseason? And then what player do you think was the biggest loss for the Chicago Bulls this offseason? Or it could be a deal that the Bulls didn't get involved in. You would have liked to see them get involved in.
I think your biggest win right now is Javon Carter because, like I said, when you've seen point guard play in Chicago the last couple of seasons, the Bulls have won. So after this season, if nothing else, Javon Carter's a point guard. After this season, we'll know, barring I ain't got nothing else to knock on injury, if this Bulls team was a point guard away. We'll know 100% if this Bulls team was a point guard away because the third time's the charm. You've done it with 2 point guards. You're going to get a third opportunity. I guess your biggest loss technically is Patrick Beverley because he's your only loss. I mean, you know what? I'll say our biggest loss, even though technically we haven't officially completely lost him yet, is probably DJJ. We brought him up couple of times. Just a guy. The Bulls don't have enough guys to make an impact every time they touch the court. Pat Bev kind of was that guy, but it was spotty with the offensive side of the ball. But DJJ, and I mean, we could pinpoint multiple games at the end of the season where the Bulls needed to win, and DJJ is the name that's getting called on. He ain't played the first 30 minutes of the game, and he comes in and makes an impact right on the spot. Losing him, I think, is actually going to be a little bit of an impact for the Bulls. I think it offers more of an opportunity for a guy like Dalen Terry, offers more of an opportunity for maybe Ayo Dosunmu to get back in the rotation, because the problem was that Ayo basically fell out of the rotation because of poor play, but also because I got to get these minutes to somebody who's making an impact. That's DJJ. I think that's going to be a bigger loss than maybe Bulls fans think at the end of the season.
That's fair. That's fair. I think the biggest win, Jerry Reinsdorf's pocket. No, I mean, that was a win. Jerry Reinsdorf's pocket's definitely won. But outside of that, I'm going to actually flip that and say Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic. I think the acquisition of Javon Carter and Torrey Craig help both of them fit more into naturally what they like to do, right? I think you actually now, if P. Will proves that he's not ready to be a starting power forward yet again, you now have somebody who Vooch ain't going to be out there next to a 6'4" guard again, right? And I think that helps Vooch in that area. And I think having a point guard next to Zach LaVine, we saw with Zach and how he finished that season, and health. I think it helps put Zach LaVine in maybe a season. I had a caller over on Chicago Bulls Central that predicted Zach LaVine to actually score the most points per game in his career. And initially I was like, wait, why would you say that? But then I thought about, you go back and look at how Zach LaVine finished that season. I mean, maybe there is a conversation to be made with that. So I look at those guys as the biggest winners. And then as far as the biggest loss for the Bulls overall, I got to agree with you and say DJJ. Like DJJ, I don't think fans quite realize how important it is to have a player that if they don't play 5 games in a row, that one game you're going to call them, they're going to come in and make an impact. And DJJ always found a way to impact the game. Now, there are some games absolutely where he made some mistakes, missed some open shots, things like that. He's not a perfect player by any stretch. If he was, he wouldn't be sometimes missing 3 and 5 games in a row of not playing. But I think ultimately, like, DJJ was just that energy guy. And while we brought in grit and maybe we brought in our identity with Torrey Craig and Javon Carter, just having that guy at the end of the bench in DJJ who just, whether you needed him to play backup center, 4, whatever it was, he was always ready to go. And I do think that that's going to be missed by the Chicago Bulls team some.
Well, and I think that's why, listen, I get it, because you're making that change to allow other people to make a play.
Yeah.
Dalen Terry's got to step up. He's got to. Like, he's
do you think
he's
going to get minutes this season?
I think Dalen will get minutes this season, just because I feel like there's a reason that they moved on from a guy like DJJ, because DJJ could have basically rejected his offer, and the Bulls could have been like, listen, we got the mid-level exception left. What is it, $5 million? He'd have got a $2 million raise. Yeah. They brought him back. But I feel like they are trying to, the reason Javonte is probably not going to be back, the reason DJJ is not going to be back, the reason, right, like certain guys that we were like, I see how they fit in this rotation, is because you got to find minutes for some of these guys that are younger that you want to see in the lineup. And I'm going to be honest with you, I do think that they're going to give Dalen Terry an opportunity, because I would hope that you don't make the same mistake twice of giving a second-round pick the long-term deal and then just not putting them on the court in the slightest. So I think Dalen Terry.
So you're talking about Julian Phillips?
Julian Phillips.
Okay.
I think Dalen Terry is going to have a little bit of a shorter leash, even maybe, because they talk about Julian Phillips like he could walk on an NBA court right now and guard 1 through 4. Now, I watched him in summer league. I don't know if I agree with that. There was a lot of fouls.
I mean, he has the potential to, but I do think that he's going to have to learn how to deal with the quickness of guards at the NBA level real quick.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think that there is I'm starting to realize, and we haven't had this work in our favor, AK wants to be the smartest guy in the room. And sometimes that means he's going to try and outsmart you by taking the roundabout way. I think he thinks he found a gem with Julian Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I think he thinks he had an offseason where he found 2 gems, one in Julian Phillips, one in Unalot Bidum. I think he just didn't expect Adama Sanago to go to him. But you know what? Nick Angster from Locked On Mav said something. He said,
bro, you don't want to know. You got to pronounce that a little bit. You got to be quicker on that, bro.
I said Nick Angster. What'd I say?
Keep going. Just keep going. Yeah, keep going.
That came out crazy?
Yeah, it came a little bit, bro. There was a second there where I was like, Pat just went full rogue. But
Nicholas Angstead, you know what I mean? From Locked On Mavs said something. He said, he basically said, I bet you Sanago got to a certain point in the second round and told teams, and his agent told teams, don't draft me so I can pick where I want to go. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't think, because I mean, at that point, it's like, all right, you're not drafting the MVP. Like, I'm gonna go where I want to go. So
yeah.
And so I don't know, man. We'll see.
We'll see. Hopefully he doesn't turn into the next Felicio. So, bro, I was doing this video over on Central, and I was, the Spencer Dinwiddie, Max Strus, and then the comparison to Javon Freeman Liberty, and I didn't realize how many games Max Strus and Cristiano Felicio played together in the Windy City Bulls. And those highlights, bro, Cristiano Felicio ran full court and did a chase down block. I never saw him do that at the NBA level, bro. That's why I don't take G League seriously, bro, because Felicio wasn't chasing down nobody at the NBA level, bro.
Listen, here's the tough part. So I know Jonathan Hood, working with him now, but I knew him before this, and I remember calling him and being like, hey, yo, Hoodie, like, what's going on with him down there? He used to do play-by-play for them. I was like, what's going on with him? Like he making all this money to be in a G League. He's like, he's not even in the rotation.
That's crazy.
That's what I knew he was. I was like, oh, he's awful. D-Wade, I still blame D-Wade for that. If we ever get D-Wade on the show, I will tell him to his face, I blame you for Cristiano Felicio being on this team and making money. Because that pick and roll with D-Wade and Felicio was actually deadly.
It actually was a weapon there for a second. But all right, y'all. We go next up. We're going to be talking about Bleacher Report having the Bulls listed as a team that's going to have big regrets with their offseason moves. Now, before we do that, though, I want to remind you guys that Locked On Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube and the Odyssey app. So make sure you guys go there. And also, everydayers, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It definitely helps us in the rankings there. But all right, Pat, last topic of the day. So Bleacher Report had a list of 5 teams that were going to regret their offseason moves, and the Chicago Bulls were listed as number 2 on that list. If we want to just go over it quickly, the Hawks were listed as number 1, Bulls number 2, Sixers number 3, Portland Trailblazers number 4, and then finally the Toronto Raptors at number 5. What do you make about the Bulls listing there on that list and their placement on there as well?
I know you do some work for Bleacher Report. This is a dumb list.
Bro, listen, I listen. Bleacher Report, for those that say that, because you're not the first person, let me be clear here. Bleacher Report video is completely different from Bleacher Report written articles. I ain't got nothing to do with the written articles. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I don't want to be associated with it. There you go.
This is a stupid list. Like, why would the Raptors be upset that they didn't give Fred VanVleet $130 million? Why would and we kept Jakob Poeltl. Like, I'm so upset.
So their issue there wasn't necessarily the Fred VanVleet part. The part that they mentioned that they weren't going to be happy with is drafting Grady Dick. So,
who was better than him at that point?
I don't remember who went where in the draft, but yeah,
like that's the move that they. So, what's the move that they have us as upset for us?
Let's see. Let's go and look at for the Bulls. They have. The offseason method unequivocally weird the service of,
because if we're talking about like regret of drafting a rookie as they're gonna really regret their offseason. That's
okay. So here goes the exact thing. Deals for Vooch, Javon Carter, Torrey Craig, Ayo Dosunmu, and Kobe White are all fine. Chicago scooped up the number 35 pick, Julian Phillips, too. However, these read like a series of transactions from a team preserving its presence. In the Bulls' case, that means scraping and clawing to protect proximity to 40 wins. This should have been an offseason in which they explored a proper reset, but didn't. So basically, we're looking at, once again, it's just saying because the Bulls didn't go full rebuild.
Because the Bulls didn't blow it up. Like, I get, like, y'all have this loser's mentality of, like, if you don't blow it up, there's nothing to do. Like, I just don't live in that world. That's not how you get to success. That's not how you get the wins. And you can't sit, here's my problem. You can't sit here. I hate articles like that. Who wrote this? He's an idiot. I hate articles like this because
Dan Favali.
What a moron. In one side of your mouth, you say all of these moves are fine, but nothing is good. That's what you just said.
Yeah. So basically you complimented them at the same time. All the moves you made were smart. You made great deals. They were fine deals. But because you didn't decide to go full rebuild, you're an idiot. That's what they basically said.
Like, this is a stupid list. I don't agree with it. I mean, I would have, if you'd have given me something where tangibly the Bulls would regret it, right? Like the paying Vooch right now at the point that he's at is, it doesn't make sense because yes, he's still good, but he's going to decline at some point, right? Like, at least throw something out there. One of the deals, like you applauded them for every deal they made.
Yep.
It's literally like, I almost could deal with it if he was like, I just think the Vooch deal isn't going to work out. He's an older player. He's going to be downhill. Yeah, I might try to defend it a little bit, but I can't. He is an older player. You did pay him $20 million a year and guaranteed it. So it's just like all you said was like, good job on all the moves you make. You guys are going to suck again.
That is strangely accurate.
That's dumb. And the teams on there, I don't even think the teams on there are gonna Philly. What's Philly gonna regret?
Oh, the Harden situation, which isn't really even in their control.
It's a regret.
Yeah,
because James Harden wants to leave. They're gonna regret it
because he opted in when he could have opted out. But like again, there's no control on the team
because he could have opted into his $37 million deal.
Exactly.
He's slowly declining. Like, that's what we're upset about. Okay. Who else was on that list?
Let's go back. So the Atlanta Hawks were listed as number 1 on that list.
What did they do?
They said that the return for John Collins is something that they're going to regret.
That might be. I'll give you that one.
And you could even say, and honestly, you could list that as a regret that they didn't trade John Collins. Remember, they got first-round pick offers for John Collins before, and they turned it down because they thought that they could get more later on.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like this whole article was built around the John Collins topic, and he just made it up as he went along.
He just figured the rest out.
He was like, "This is fire right here. I need 4 more people though."
And then lastly, Portland Trailblazers. I can kind of understand that as well. Just by the nature of how everything shook out for them.
Portland's tough. Portland's in a tough position because of how Dame has positioned them. Like, I don't feel like Portland's in a tough position as a whole because, I mean, at the end of the day, you still got Shaedon Sharpe. You still got Anthony Simons. You're going to get something back for Dame. But I think
you got Scoot Henderson as well.
You got Scoot Henderson as well. But I think because Dame literally went, I'm only playing in Miami, the best player you're getting back for Damian Lillard is Tyler Hero. And I guess I can see why that's irritating, but that's more of what Dame did. Like, I guess you could say you don't like, they'll regret it in the long run because they didn't trade him sooner, but that has nothing to do with this offseason. Exactly. I don't know, stupid list, stupid people. And I think this makes absolutely no sense in the long run outside.
Now, y'all remember, if this video goes down, if they do not allow me on Bleacher Report anymore, y'all remember this video. That's all I can say to that.
You agreed.
I absolutely agree. Like, listen, one thing. All jokes aside,
put his name out there. I'm not gonna
one thing. All jokes aside, my voice is not buyable. Like, I'm gonna state my opinion no matter what and who I work for, whatnot. That's a dumb article, and a lot of Bleacher Report articles, I'm sorry, are stupid.
Yeah.
So,
hey, follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer, and do better, Bleacher Report.
You can follow me at CEO Haize, the CEO, Haize. And thank you for once again making Locked On Bulls your first listen every day. Now for your second listen, make sure you guys go check out Locked On NBA as well. Our very own Pat the Designer is over there on the Thursday episodes of Locked On Bulls. Of Locked On NBA. So you guys can follow that there. Before Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This has been Locked On Bulls. Guess what? We about you. Peace, y'all.
Peace. We got to stop reacting to Bleacher Report articles.
Yeah, we got to leave them alone, bro.
It's never a positive reaction.
One for every 35 is good.
No, it's more like when Haize, we sent you a check.